Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Twist Gaming. We are here live at Origins 2019 in Columbus, Ohio, streaming all day long with some of the best board game coverage, with some of the best board game people in the industry. And
That's generous.
speaking of one of those people, I have Daniel Zayas here with me. Daniel, you have your hands in a little bit of everything. I want to introduce you as Long Pack Games, but also the Daniel Zayas Company.
Yes, I wear many hats, literally and figuratively, in the industry. And so I work for Long Pack Games as their U.S. sales manager. I handle a lot of oversight over our U.S. and English-speaking accounts. Part of my work through Long Pack is also community building, which I was doing long before I was with them. I run a number of industry Facebook groups, and I've made a number of games. I've helped other people crowdfund games. I've helped other people market their games, right? So just a lot of different things that I do
Little
to help
hats
people.
and no, I think that one of the things we're talking about community building, and that's definitely the pinnacle, I think, of what Daniel's all about.
Yeah, there's a Facebook group called Tabletop Backer Party, which you should be a part of. It's a fun group where we interview creators and we do live art shows, and it's a really fun community, and you all should be in it. It's fun.
So do
it's
it.
good stuff. So I made a few games in my time with Longpack, actually, and they've manufactured 2 out of 3 of them. And so Tangled Timelines I funded recently. That one's coming out.
I want to see if I
currently
can
being. Yeah, that one might actually show up. That's a good idea. That one's being that one's farther away from being mass produced because I'm trying to essentially, it's called the Matchbox series because there's only a tray and a thing, right, and a sleeve. So that was the boxing innovation that I made, and now what I'm trying to do is get it to slide slower, which is another engineering thing.
This is very Long Pack. This is very much so engineering in box. What's the game about?
These are all experiments. Everything that I have made so far, like just something experimental and weird and hopefully it progresses something that someone might use to make a lot more money than I do.
But what is Tangle Time like?
Tangle Timelines is a cool game.
Is it? That's kind of important.
Yeah, it's just a you have this market of cards here, and it's not shuffled at all. So you have like a market of cards here. I'll just randomly grab some cards just to show you. But you'll have a market of cards, and then you'll have your hand of cards, and you'll have a hand of cards, and all you do is you're just doing a trick-taking round, right? So I'll place this down face down, and you'll place one face down.
Okay.
And then I would reveal a card, right? And then that would interact with the market. So because you played H essentially, it's alphabetical order. So H1, which means that I get to do my special ability, which is discard a hero from the Tangled Timelines, which is the market, right, into the Dimensional Abyss, which is the discard. Because I see now that you've played this Illusionist, and we didn't plan this out. You just
I've literally just grabbed.
Right. And then so you played the Illusionist. I see that Illusionist is there, and you're definitely going to get it. I'm not going to get it, so I'm going to throw that away, and you don't get that anymore.
That's rude.
Yeah, super rude. But it's really fun. Just take that trick-taking market interaction game. Like when you win the So then you're essentially building a hand in this because let's just say that I hadn't thrown that away.
Right.
You would actually swap these two. Enters the Tangle Timeline. Anything it matches with, so any apprentice as well would go into there.
Oh, okay.
Right? I would trade with any hunters or masters.
Okay.
And there's no hunters or masters in there, so I kind of just played a bad hand. And then the rest of them would go away. And then you have those cards now added to your hand for future use.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The art's super cute.
Yeah, super cute. Illustragus is amazing. I don't deserve him. He's awesome. He's out of Brazil, and he does really, really great work. So, yeah. Throw a plug to him. Okay, so that's the farthest out from actually getting into people's homes. Only recently funded on Kickstarter. When Cutie Mapatootie is much closer. It's actually going out this month to backers.
That's exciting.
They might get it next month, but it's going out this month. I know that. When Cuba 2D is kind of like creating this world. It's actually got a lot of characters in it. So it
Are
creates this
these
world
all?
of travelers who have come from various times,
Oh wow.
and they are um, they've been transported there by a mysterious force, and now you are going to work with them to meet at the top of this mountain, and at the top of the mountain is where you're supposed to meet Patchouli. And the way you do that is you're going to set up this. This is not all of the gems that are going to be in the game, but it was more of
It's just an example.
an early
Prototype.
example from Long Pack. But you're essentially going to be climbing up, and I would have this here.
Okay.
So you're climbing up these. Think of like a pyramid shape. You're climbing up these by spending gems that you would have.
'Kay.
Right? So let's just say he's here. You would need to spend a blue and a pink gem to get to this spot here, and then it's a lot of resource management, and then you don't necessarily care which creatures make it to the top. All you care about is the gems that get you points. So whatever gems they have on them at the end of the game
Yeah.
is what you will use to get points. So a little bit twice removed scoring system. It's interesting. It's fun, and backers are going to get it soon.
Very cool.
Yep. Super quick. Mechanism actually is something that people already have in their house if they backed the crowd sale
Okay.
on Game Crafter. I did one of those things.
So what is a crowd sale?
Yeah,
in Green
crowd
Crafter?
sale is kind of what Game Crafter did as a response to Kickstarter existing, right? So it's kind of like their crowd funding operation. Operates a little differently. Only lasts a week in its current iteration, I believe.
Okay.
Only lasts a week. The way it works is you will back a game. You actually purchase it, but it won't charge you until the end of that week. And the more people who come in, the steeper the discount that Game Crafter will provide.
That's interesting.
Right. So, it was just a week-long promotion of this game Mechanisms.
So talk to me about mechanisms where this came from. Like,
Yeah, I guess it's a weird thing that happened. Came out as a joke in one of the Facebook groups where we said, why isn't there more? What if there was a game that was a way for you to mime mechanisms for people to guess? And that's really the joke I told within the group of it would only be good for people who know BGG mechanisms,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so Derek Funkhauser, he came to me, he's like, oh, that actually should be a game, and it would be, relatively cheap to develop and produce and stuff. So we said, okay, yeah, let's just make the thing because it doesn't exist.
Those are the best kinds of plans to wonder, like, wouldn't it be really funny if this was a
Yeah.
thing, and then you go and make it a thing?
That's okay. So in the group, the actual pitch was, what if there was a party game that only hardcore gamers would be able to understand and play, right? Because they would be the ultimate disconnect of of what should exist and what's marketable. And yeah, so it's been a funny experience, and we'll keep making more of these types of things. I think our next one's going to be thematicisms. We're working on that currently, and then we'll see if it takes off. But it's just a fun project, just as a experimental thing to have fun with people.
Very cool. So how do you play?
So this is actually very simple. You have 3 cards, and I'll have 3 cards.
Okay.
And then we'll just you're going to, or maybe I should mime it. I'll mime it. I'll take the first round. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these components in order to get you to guess the words that are on my card.
Okay, and you have to put effort in, but you don't really want. Do you want me to guess them? What's
I want
the
you
drive?
to get them, because if you get 2 of them, usually, obviously, a party game situation, you'd have a lot more players.
Of course.
Right, but we can just play like this. I do want you to get them, because then I get to keep the 3rd card if you guess 2
Which is
as
your
a point.
point.
Right, and so for 2 players, doesn't make as much sense, but for multiple players, you would want to do that.
All right.
because you could just distribute those and get your own free point for not. Okay, so I will just put this is I'm gonna
Cherry
not have a
pick.
good one. Okay, I'm gonna cherry pick some of these. Okay, cool. So I will be able to probably get you to do this. Okay.
You've got high hopes for me, Daniel.
Yeah, it's gonna work. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be good. Okay, so I'm going to do something like this, and then there's that. So I do that. I'm really not supposed to be talking during this, so it's something like. Um, if I do- all you have to, yeah, any word.
I have no idea.
Yep, it's hard when you're on the spot.
Tableau building?
No, no, not.
No, because
You're working. That's actually pretty good, but
this is
okay. If I do this, if I do.
no, no, no.
So that was modular board, but you don't have a board in front of you, so I just use the cards as
No,
pieces.
it worked.
Um,
That was just my
but
terrible.
now you know that that was a modular,
Modular
board.
board.
That maybe makes sense for
Next,
what
if
I was
something else is
doing.
gonna go, yeah.
For what I was doing, that probably makes sense. Anyway, there's more stuff like if I did something like this, if I had this and I placed it on there and maybe grabbed something, you would say
Worker placement.
worker placement. Yeah, and that would be a very easier one to mime. But there are 54 cards of mechanisms that are actually recognized by BGG, and they it's just how good are you at getting people to guess what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so actually it's funny because people will walk past the table and you'll actually see you'll see people guessing these mechanisms, and people are wondering what is happening because there's kind of nonsensical for you to be doing this and okay, I get this resource, and then I'm
Nothing.
not saying anything and people are shouting different words, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
Because it looks like you're supposed to be playing a game.
it
and
actually
really
looks like you're playing some sort of game that is not a party game necessarily, because you're doing all these mechanisms that are yeah.
So-
That's mechanisms.
one of the cool things about mechanisms.
Oh yeah. So this is a legacy game.
'Kay.
Another fun experiment thing as part of this. Every card has
This
a
will-
notable so you
This
can
will
show,
kind of
yeah.
green screen a little bit because the game is green, but you'll see all that text.
Oh yeah. So every game has a notable game associated with it, and also honors the designer of that game.
I think that's
So if you get a signature from that designer in passing at some convention, right, then you can that card is now worth an extra point in your game.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really
I've
great.
gotten maybe 2 or 3 so far in my own deck, but I just started, so everyone just got theirs maybe a month ago. Yeah.
So you'll have to make the rounds and ask people
I gotta
for
go,
signatures.
yeah, exactly.
But it's awesome because it's also teaching you about the people behind these games that made these kinds of things super popular.
Exactly. It was a nice opportunity to celebrate the designers of these games we play, which was fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So Daniel, one of the things that we were talking about, and I guess it goes back to a little bit of community building, as
Sure.
I definitely wanted to commend you for the Melt event that you put together with
Oh yeah.
Gamma this year.
Yeah, that was cool. I worked with Gamma to benefit the Huckleberry House, who is they're an organization that helps the homeless youth of the Columbus, Ohio area, and it was I'll be honest with you. We go to these conventions, and you'll sometimes be stepping over the homeless community in actually entering the halls, and so that was kind of getting to me. It was weighing on me, and I thought maybe we could do some good as a community of gamers to benefit the places that maybe leave it better than we came. Right.
I think that's awesome.
So yeah, that's probably going to be an annual event on the Wednesday before Origins starts, and then maybe some future events at other conventions. But yeah, I'm very appreciative. Gamma's awesome. They were very, very supportive of this initiative, and it went off really well. I think we maybe tell them to bring more staff next time, because we had a little bit of short staffing issue for them. But
So the first time you do
it's
anything,
the first time you do anything, right?
you
Yeah.
run into the
I
hicks.
I am 100% empathetic about that, and I think that I'll just yeah, it'll be a lot smoother I think in future years. So
I think that's super awesome. So
yeah,
you've got your hands in long pack. You have your hands in game development with the Daniel Zayas company.
yeah,
You
yep,
also help a lot of other people get onto their own
yes,
feet. So who are the kind of people? What are the kinds of people that approach you looking for advice, help? How does
yeah.
that? How do those
It
connections
comes in
happen?
a lot of ways actually. So on Facebook or through email or through conventions like this, people will come up and ask about how to best present their game to the community, how to best package their game, whether they should tweak component here and there to make it stand out. I have a lot of it's a lot of nuanced conversation. It's a lot of every
Specific
single
and
person has a different project that can shine in a different way, and it's actually it's really fun to do. They're fun projects to take on, but yeah, I'm always available to talk about any sort of design or development or marketing or anything that you need. I usually, if I can't solve the problem, I usually know the person who can. So, like if they need marketing, maybe point them to Twist, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah, that was good.
great. So, yeah, I'm just here to enjoy my time and help folks out.
That's awesome. How do people reach out to you? Obviously, you've got all these board gaming groups
Yeah,
going on, and
yeah.
you're
I think I'd point people. I mean, you can go to my website. You can go to Longpack's website. My website's dzayas.com. So dzayas.com. You can go to Longpack's website, but you could probably just find me on Facebook and definitely join Tabletop Backer Party. You can search that on Facebook now and add yourself. And I can get you connected from there.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to make sure that our audience knows at home? Do you have anything going on? I mean, we're
Uh,
live, so is there what booth is Longpack of a booth this year?
yeah, we have a booth. We got changed over recently. I'm trying to remember the name of our booth. We're on the far wall by near the open gaming, so you can't really miss us. We got giant blue shirts on, so just come by. I think we're in the 1100
Section
row, so you'll find us there.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to come hang out with me and show me the games.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. And for those of you at home, stay tuned for some really great more Origins live coverage. Something, those words in that order. I'll be right back.